What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Power Force Season 1, Episode 3. The episode was titled Fire Starters, you guys. So, before we go ahead and just talk about this episode, if you guys are watching this video or any other on my channel and you guys are not subscribed to my channel, do me that big favor by 1. Subscribing to my channel, turn on your notifications, liking my video, sharing it to your social media, guys. And you guys, with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss Power Book 4 Force, shall we? All right, you guys, so I'm going to go a little bit out of order with this episode, you guys. So I'm going to talk about Victor, and we're going to talk about the Flynn family first, right, you guys? So we see Victor. So Victor is at the police station. He's picking up some of his guys. One of them I recognized was the one that Tommy beat his ass in that alley, right? And fucked up his hand. So, you know, Victor is putting down did the woman say 9,500? I think he put down $9,500, right? For all 3 of his men, right? So when he walks outside, he's upset. And then he goes and sees the guy that went to Diamond's barbershop in last week's episode. You know, we didn't know his name. Now we know his name. His name is Bennigan, right? So Victor is asking Bennigan, like, why the fuck did my guys get picked up? And Bennigan says, you ain't got a cop problem. You got an alderman problem. So he says, okay, you know, because we find out that Victor is paying him. And it's so interesting, right? It's really interesting that you guys are using this black cop, but you don't, well, it's not Victor. It's Walter. Walter, you're racist. You don't like black people. We're going to talk about that in a little bit as well as we move forward with the episode. But yeah, Bennigan told him it wasn't shit he could do, and it's going to keep happening, basically. So then we see Victor. So Victor is talking to Walter, and he's telling him that Bennigan told them that they have an alderman problem and not a cop problem. So what does Walter do? Walter looks to Claudia, tells Claudia, what you need to do is basically slut herself out, whore herself out, right? And I'm like, damn, Claudia, now I see why you feel the way about your father. Because remember, first episode, he grabbed her hands. He asked her, what is she going to do with these hands, right? Because he's saying she can't defend herself, right? Now in this week's episode, and then remember in last week's episode, she was only good for accounting. And now in this week's episode, you're telling this girl that, oh, the only thing you're good for is what's between your legs. I was like, wow, what kind of father would do that say that to his daughter of all things? Victor tells him that we need someone on the inside or else this will keep happening, right? So then Claudia tells Walter that, hey, our profits, they're down right about now. I think she said they're down by 12%, right? So yeah, this is where he told her to go meet up with Alderman McGuire, right? So basically he wants her to seduce him so that way they can, I don't know, broker some kind of deal, right? And then he tells her, wear something seductive. I was like, so you are really pimping your daughter out. Ain't that fucked up, right? So then we see Victor. So we actually saw Gloria. Gloria is at her mother's grave, right? And there's a headstone on there. And we see Victor. So Victor walks up to her. She says, did you do this? He said, yeah. So then Victor tells her, I saw you with that white boy, Tommy. She was like, so you were watching me. So you bought that. So that way, like, what are we doing here, Victor? And she says, I don't want you to buy stuff for me, Victor. I want you to stand up for me. That's what I want you to do. So then we see Claudia. So Claudia, she's out to dinner with, you know, Alderman McGuire, right? And when she got there, he wasn't paying her the slightest bit of attention, right? So then she tells him, like, you know, if my people keep getting picked up, then what we're going to do is we're going to take our shit and we're going to go to another water, right? So then he hit her with the, he lets her know that, you know, we both like the same thing. We both like to eat pussy. I was like, oh, God, really? This is where we're going. Okay. So then she has a picture. She has a picture of his daughter on her phone. She's like, look at how clean her suit is. I would hate for it to get, you know, what's the word? Dirty. So he gave into her demands, right? And she paid him. And he was looking like, well, god damn. And actually, I want to go ahead and wrap Claudia up real quick. So at the end of the episode, we saw Claudia, right? And she's with that girl that she met in the first episode where they did that line of coke off each other, right? So Claudia now wants to do business with that girl. She's Xing her family out. So no Victor, no Walter, no nobody. It'll be just her and this young lady, you guys. So now we're going to move forward and we're going to talk about Jannard and Diamond. All right, you guys, so we see Jannard and Diamond, right? So Jannard and Diamond are walking to this baseball field, right? And Jannard is talking to Diamond about, how to basically wash the money, right? So Diamond is adamant that they don't do that because Jannard wants to wash the money by, fixing up the baseball stadium, right? He says it's a 2-for-1 basically, right? That we wash our money and we give the streets, the city, the people a baseball stadium, right? We take care of this, we take care of that, this and this and that. But like I said, Diamond is not feeling it. And like I said in the first episode, there's going to be a point of, it's already a point of contention between Diamond and Jannard, right? Because Jannard wants to do one thing, but Diamond wants to do another thing. And it's a power struggle because granted, I get what Jannard is, I get his frustrations, right? You were in prison for 15 years and you just got out. I've been holding things down while you were in prison, and now you get out of prison and it's like you push me to the wayside. It's like I'm second in command. Like I ain't been running shit 15 fucking years while you've been locked down, right? So I get where Jannard is coming from, but I also feel that Jannard is. So let me say this. Jannard gives me Tommy from the original Power, right? How, yes, he has these ideas in his head, right? But his ideas might not be beneficial for business. That's what I feel. I don't feel like his ideas are good for business. And you guys can let me know what you think in the comment section below, right? So then Jannard asks Diamond, so you still fucking with that white boy? And Diamond tells him that ain't got nothing to do with you, to mind your business. And he says, I'm not the little brother that when you went to prison, I'm not that same little brother. Like, I'm a grown ass man, right? And I earned my seat right here. So Diamond really ain't paying him the slightest bit of attention, right? So while this is going on, while Diamond and Jannard are going back and forth with each other, we see Bennigan. Bennigan is watching them and he's recording them on his cell phone, right? And I guess he's recording them for the Flynn family, right? Like I said, we'll discuss the Flynns in just a few minutes, you guys. But we're gonna move forward. All right, you guys. So to talk about Tommy, the episode opened up with Tommy, right? So we see Tommy. He is, he's still at Liliana's place, right? You guys remember in the last episode, he stomped his foot into the floor, and that's when he found that coke in the floor, right? So he's asking Liliana, like, where the fuck did you get this shit from, right? And she says she got it from a guy who tried to kill her. He says, oh, so some things stay the same, huh? So then she's saying that the guy that she got it from, because he's like, are they gonna come after you, right? And she's saying that the guy that she got it from, he's no longer with us, right? And she's had the drugs for about a few weeks at this point, right? So Tommy tells her, I'm a broker a deal to you right now. So the deal is either you come and work with me, right? Or I'm gonna keep trying to unlive you at this point, right? So the choice is yours. What the fuck you want to do? You want to live or you want to come work with me? Well, actually, that's the same choice, right? You want to be unlived or do you want to work with me? So then we see Liliana and Tommy. They go back to his place that he got in last week's episode, the fire station, right? So Tommy's opening up the bags of coke, right? And, Liliana, she comes in there and she's telling him not to get it on his clothes. And then she goes into the refrigerator and she gets 2 pans out, right? So she starts cutting the weight and, she says, so is Ghost going to be coming down here anytime soon to join us? He says, yeah, Ghost is dead, right? She said, did you do it? He says, nah, I didn't do it, right? And so she starts cutting the, the coke up, right? And he says, damn, if Ghost and I knew that you were this good, like we wouldn't have tried to kill you. We would have, just put you in the lab, right? So then she asked him, why are you still helping me? He says, look here, Liliana, stop pushing shit, right? That was such a long time ago. He said, you the one that came after me, which that is true. You did clock him over the goddamn head, so Tommy had forgot all about you. Tommy had literally forgot all about you. All right, you guys. So, and also I do want to say thank you to everyone on, Rox's channel, and I think it was Ash's as well. Actually, I think it was just Rox's channel. Shout out to everybody who let me know who Liliana was, because I swear to God, I forgot who Liliana was. I was drawing the biggest blank. I did see a lot of people in other people's comments saying that Liliana was the girl with the pink shoes. I was like, I don't think that's her. But she's the one that the girl with the pink shoes sliced her fucking face. That was all the way in season 1. She been alive this goddamn long, like a damn roach, right? So then we see Tommy. So Tommy went over to JP's crib to take him some pizza, right? And Tommy's asking him like, yo, who's paying for grandma at the nursing home, right? JP was like, I really don't know. I assume she has to trust her, right? And, he says, him and his father, they just recently came back into contact with the grandmother. And when they came back in contact with her, she was already in a nursing home. He says, but what we could ask? He says, fuck no, I'm not asking Kate. You guys, I miss my girl Kate, as trifling as the heifer is, because we all know Kate is trifling as fuck. I miss Kate. I hope we see Kate. I hope we see Kate at some point in this series, because Kate got to give us some motherfucking answers about, especially motherfucking JP. Girl, what? I need some answers about JP, Kate. So writers, bring Kate's trifling ass to Chicago. So JP he still got that money that Tommy gave him in last week's episode. He says, here, I can't keep this. Tommy was like, why? He says, this doesn't feel right, number one, and it doesn't feel legal. Well, you're right on that one. It ain't legal, but hey, nigga, if somebody give me $10,000 and they don't want anything in return from it, I'm like, shit, shut your mouth and call me Sue. What? That is what I'm gonna be like. You can let me shut my mouth and you can call me Sue. Absolutely not. I ain't gonna say a motherfucking thing, right? So then Tommy asked him what for a figure, right? And I mean, he gave him that number. So Tommy told him, hold on to that 10K, right? And I'll try to work something else out. I was like, okay, all right. Let's see where we go. So then we see Tommy. So Tommy went back to the crib and he has a map, right? So Liliana, she realized that Tommy has done his homework on, the cruise in Chicago, right? So she asked him, like, what do you know about the Flynn family? He says, oh, I went up to the big house, right? And, they're a little over the top, right? So then they're talking about who runs what. So CBI, which is Diamond Jannard's crew, right? They run the south side of Chicago, and the Flynn family, they run the north side of Chicago. Now, with the Flynn family, they only sell pills. That's it. They only run pills. That's the way that they move. Jannard and Diamond, I believe they do move cocaine, right? But it's hella interesting, right? And the reason why I say it's interesting, because think back to episode number 1, right? When we were introduced to the characters, right? You guys remember, Jannard and Victor were meeting up with them two cracked out, methed out motherfuckers, right? Trying to get some weight from them. Weren't they getting cocaine from them? So it begs the question, is Victor trying to run his own side business, right? Because like I said, the Flynn family, they only run pills. But with them two meth heads, and actually it was cocaine that they got, because Tommy came back in last week's episode and told him that the shit was stepped on with baby aspirins, right? So does so that is a question that I have. What is going on with Victor, right? Is he trying to? But even in last week's episode, Victor told Claudia that Walter wasn't going to go for that. So what the fuck was he buying from those meth heads? I got my good eye on Mr. Victor. Got my good eye on Victor, right? So then we see Tommy and Liliana, right? So they walk to a meeting with Polly and with Walter, right? Walter is looking at Tommy like, you're still in my fucking city, right? He's like, yeah. You thought I was gonna leave? So Tommy and Walter, they went to the side to talk, right? And Liliana and Polly were talking. Anytime Polly asked her a question, she hit him with another question, right? So Walter says, why are you still in my city, basically, right? Tommy says, I'm looking for the loan money. He tells him, hey, I found some cocaine, right? And Walter's thing is like, I don't deal with that powder shit. I run pills. That's all I do is pills, 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 pills. That's all I run, right? So he says that if I wanted to run with some powder, I'd go with those CBI motherfuckers, right? And Tommy says, bullshit, motherfucker. You don't even give me the vibe that you know what black BLM or BET mean, right? You don't know the difference between BLM and BET. I was like, good one, Tommy. So then we later see Tommy and Victor. So Tommy and Victor, they're out on the streets, right? They're talking. So they're going to go and move some of the weight, right? So then they go to this penthouse or apartment, right? Where this guy who is high out of his mind by the name of Colin, right? High out of his mind. He's he's spinning, DJing, right? Then there's a girl on the floor. She is complaining about the fact that I guess they just took some drugs and her heart is beating, irregularly. And she's like, I'm going to call the cops. And Tom's like, oh, no. Don't call the cops. I'm the motherfucker that's going to be able to get you out of here safely. Don't do that. So then Colin pulls a gun out and he's pointing it at Victor. Tommy takes his gun out, points it at, the security. And, Colin's like, Fat Tony, shoot that motherfucker. Tom was like, Fat Tony, don't test your luck today, motherfucker. I am cussing a lot. I just realized I've said motherfucker I don't know how many times. And listen, Tommy brings that out of me. Tommy is the one that brings, because I do not say MF that much. I don't say that word a lot. I don't say that word a lot. I get it from Tommy. Whenever I talk about Tommy, I notice that I always say drop motherfucker. So, it's back to the show. So, Fat Tony was like, hey, I got kids. So Tommy tells Fat Tony, okay, you and the girl, go. But actually, before that, Victor had the gun that Colin pulled on him in his mouth. He said, what were you saying about my father? Because he said something about Walter, right? And Tommy was like, wait a minute, we can't do that. Like, you want to move a body in the broad open daylight? So Fat Tony was like, you can move 2,000 pounds of something. He was like, oh, okay. Take him out. But then he gives him a pillow. Here. So, Colin's dead, right? So then they go back to Walter. And, Walter is pissed off with them because they come back with the drugs, right? And Tom was like, Colin was out of fucking line. And Victor says, well, we need to move up to Lake County. And Walter says, okay. Because he was about to call Colin. And he's like, Tom was like, yeah, I don't think Colin gonna answer that phone call for you, my brother. So Walter says, okay, unify the cocaine, but one deal, get Diamond to the table. So we're gonna put a pin in that and we're gonna move forward. All right, you guys, so moving forward, we see Tommy, right? So Tommy, he went to the boxing gym where Diamond is and Jannard and some of their people, right? So Tommy is telling Diamond that, hey, I've talked to Walter Flynn, and Walter Flynn is willing to have a meetup with me, you, and him. Jannard is on the side saying, man, that shit ain't finna fly. Like, no, like absolutely not. And I can see it in this season. I thought, and I've said it in a previous episode. I don't know if I said it in the last week's episode or if I said it in the first episode. There's gonna be some issues between. I said that there's gonna be issues between Tommy and Victor. There's also gonna be some issues between Tommy and Jannard, right? Because like I said, there's already contention with Jannard and with Diamond, because the contention is the power struggle. Like I said earlier, I definitely get where Jannard's coming from about the fact that Diamond had been in jail for 15 years. And while Diamond's been in jail, Jannard has been out on the streets running, hustling, and bustling, and building up the business, right? So I definitely get that, right? And when you come, I mean, you've been the top dog for 15 years. You ain't gonna come out and take orders, even if it is your brother. You're not gonna come out and say, oh, you know what, big bro? I held you down for 15 years, my nigga. So at this point, I'm finna pass the business over to you. It ain't gonna happen, right? So, like I said, Diamond is okay. Diamond wants to hear Tommy out and have this meeting with Walter, right? Jannard was like, hell nah, nigga. That shit ain't finna go down. Like, if any business deal goes down, it gotta go through me first. I was like, oh shit. So you finally piping up and stepping up to your brother, right? Because you guys remember last week's episode when the little niggas pulled a gun on Tommy, and that one dude was like, I'm waiting for the cue. And then when Diamond looked at him like, what the fuck is he talking about, right? So he didn't really say much. But in this week's episode, oh, he spoke the fuck up, right? He spoke the fuck up, right? So then, Jannard told Diamond, like, hey, if you want the top seat, you're going to have to see me for it, right? So we see Diamond and Jannard, they get into the boxing ring with each other, right? I was expecting for them to put on some boxing gloves. I'm like, so whoa, we y'all ain't gonna put on no boxing gloves? Like, this ain't finna be friendly? No? They said, nah, little nigga, this ain't finna be friendly. I was like, oh, okay. My bad. Let me back up. Because I was expecting for this to be friendly. Like, I thought there was gonna be a little friendly fight between the brothers, just boxing, like that. Nah, these niggas really squared up with each other, just pop, pop, pop. That's what them niggas were doing. I was like, oh, okay, I got you. So, they fighting, Diamond hitting left hook, he hit with a right hook, left hook, right, left, right, left, right, So we getting some of these, right? And then at one point, one of Jannard's men said, use your legs. Tommy was like, what? Speaking of Tommy and one of his guys was betting on it, right? Who would win? So so Jannard kicks Diamond in the leg. He's like, yeah, you're losing your balance. Not really. Diamond says, pop, pop. I mean, he just hitting him. I'm like, ooh, yeah. I was like, ooh, this is gruesome. This is really bad. So suffice it to say, Jannard got his ass beat, right? Now, I do want to bring up a point at the end of the episode. So the little guy that bet with Tommy, right? He's talking to Jannard, right? So Jannard took a dive. Do y'all really believe that Jannard took a dive? Because I don't really think Jannard took a dive. I think Jannard literally got his ass beat, right? But hey, if Jannard wants to say he took a dive to make Diamond feel like he's running things, right? So Jannard's guy telling him, like, with the situation, like, you're going to have people who are going to be split. You're going to have some people who run with your brother. You're going to have some people who run with you, right? He says, yeah, I know that. But eventually, they all going to come back to me. I was like, ooh, I hope we don't get to a certain point in the season where they have to take, one of them going to take each other out. Like, if I put money on who I think would take who out, I honestly feel like Diamond would be the one that would have to take his little brother out, right? Because like I said, Jannard, he gives me, like I said, season one Tommy of Power. Well, Tommy in the Power, in the original Power, right? He wants to make these big bold moves, right? But he doesn't think he doesn't have a plan. Like he has a plan A, right? But he never has a plan B, a plan C, or a plan D. He just wants to go with the first thing that he's thinking. That's the vibe that Jannard gives me. That he's just headstrong, and he doesn't look at things from every particular angle. Like if I do this, that's fine, right? But then I have to come back down here and say, okay, well, if this doesn't fall through, I need to go right here for this plan. But then I'm right here. What if something happens right here? Then I got to come back up here. I need to plan up here, and then, oh my God, what if that doesn't work? So you need to just kind of triangulate your thoughts, plans, and ideas, and that's what I think would be in Jannard's downfall, is that he doesn't logically think things through. All right, guys, so we're gonna move forward, and we're gonna go back. So Liliana. So Tommy went back to the crib, right? And Liliana is there, and she's asking Tommy, so, if the Flins can't run this shit, I got you. He was like, no, I'm okay. She's like, well, they made a deal with each other, right? So at first he wanted to say 70-30 split with them, right? But she said no, 50-50. So he agreed to 50-50, and she's like, 50% of that is mine. It's like, nah, I'm gonna hold on to it so you can, hasta luego, go. I like how he did that, right? So he asked her once again, who does this shit belong to? And she says, I told you, right? So then we had this meeting with Victor's there, Polly's there, Walter's there, Jannard and Tommy, right? So Tommy tells Walter, like, hey, this whole white and black shit, it's gotta stop, right? We can't keep doing that, right? So Tommy tells them what the plan is, right? So Tommy says, CBI, what they gonna do is they gonna run the powder up north, right? And then the Flins, y'all will run the pills in the south side, right? And Diamond says below a certain area, right? So then he tells them what the cut is. So he says it'll be a 10% cut between the two of them, right? And so Walter's like, so what is gonna be your cut? He says, I get 5% on every deal. And Walter was like, oh, okay, is that what we're doing? Oh, okay. So then things took a turn because Walter was talking to Diamond at one point, right? So I'm gonna say allegedly because the way Diamond was talking, these motherfuckers think that every black person looks alike, right? So Polly's wife got a bottle to her face. They had to fix her face, right? They thought it was Diamond. Diamond says, I told you guys a long time ago that shit wasn't me. And then Diamond was like, but you took out 10 of my men, right? Because you think all of us black people look alike, right? And then Walter, he lost me when he said, you black parasites. I was like, excuse me? What was said? Baby, if I was Diamond, I would have, black parasites? We ain't finna do that. We not finna do, that ain't what we about to do. That ain't what we about to do. A black parasite? You got your motherfucking nerve. Yeah, you just letting your racism fly. Fly. So Diamond was like, fuck this, man, I'm out of here. So when he left, Victor was like, you just literally just fucked us over. Like, business is already down. We could use his help, right? So I'm like, okay. And then, Walter was like, well, if certain people knew that they were working with him, that they would probably be exiled. So it is 2021. At that time, I think it was 2020. Well, no, it might have been 2020, 2021, 2022, whenever it is. We got to get up with the times. Black people ain't your enemy. We're nobody's enemy, right? We just want to peacefully coexist in this world. And I mean, your motherfucking daughter told you that your business is down by 12%. Like, get the fuck out of here, right? So when Diamond left out, Tommy followed behind Diamond and told him, like, hey man, I didn't know he was gonna do no shit like that. And he was like, nah, that ain't got nothing to do with you. He's bringing up old stuff, right? That ain't got nothing to do with you, so we good. So Diamond leaves, right? So then we see in another car across the street where it's two cops, two black people, right? Two black cops, by the way. They're taking pictures of Tommy. So they're wondering if Tommy is, you know, a new man that is working for Walter, right? So then Tommy looks out of his window and he sees something. I don't know what he saw. So he starts driving off, and then we see this black SUV, which I think that was a G-Wagon, right? I think that was a G-Wagon. We see a black car following him. Can't really see in the windows, but I did notice that the silhouette looked like it was a woman. So it was a woman. It was Claudia. Claudia pulled up on side of Tommy. Basically, in a nutshell, I feel like Tommy and Claudia are going to work with each other. And that's really the end of the episode, because I've already talked about what happened with Claudia. I talked about what happened with Claudia and the old girl. They're going to do business with each other. I talked about Jannard. That came at the end of the episode. Also, Tommy, he got a text message from Gloria asking, was he up? He says, always. She said, you want company? He says, always. So she comes over to the fire station. She's like, interesting. The fire starter lives in a fire station, right? He says, I don't start no fires that I can't put out. And Gloria and Tommy end up having sex. And that's the end of the episode, you guys. So let me know what you guys thought about it. Please leave your comments down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, share the video, and until the next time, you guys, stay safe, take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, you guys, socially distance, be blessed, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.